Welcome back to our channel, where we bring you the most inspiring stories of people who turned struggle into greatness. Today, we're diving into the extraordinary journey of a boy who grew up with nothing. No money, no home, no father, yet became one of the most beloved legends in history. This is the story of Charlie Chaplin, the homeless child who used laughter to change the world. Charlie Chaplin, the homeless boy who became a legend. Imagine being just 5 years old and watching your world fall apart. Your father gone. Your mother too sick to take care of you. No warm bed. No proper food. Just the harsh streets of London, where survival feels like a daily battle. Most children in that situation would be crushed. Many would give up hope. But one little boy didn't. He carried something inside him. Not money, not power, but something far stronger. The ability to see light in the darkest places. That boy's name was Charlie Chaplin. The same Charlie Chaplin who grew up to become a global icon, a pioneer of cinema, and one of the greatest entertainers who ever lived. But here's the thing. Before he was a legend, he was a nobody. A homeless boy who had every reason to quit. And yet, he didn't. This is the untold story of how pain shaped his genius, how hunger sharpened his creativity, and how the boy who had nothing gave the world something it would never forget: laughter. Charlie Chaplin was born in London in 1889, into a world of hardship. His father, Charles Chaplin Sr., was a singer who drowned himself in alcohol. He abandoned the family when Charlie was just a toddler. His mother, Hannah, worked as a music hall singer, but illness and poverty soon broke her down. By the time Charlie was only 7 years old, life had already pushed him to the edge. His father was gone. His mother's mental health collapsed, and she was eventually admitted to an asylum. For young Charlie and his brother Sidney, this meant one thing: the streets. They were forced to survive in workhouses, grim institutions where poor children were sent to earn their meals. Imagine a child, not in school, not playing with friends, but laboring just to have a piece of bread. The days were long, the food barely enough, and the nights cold and hopeless. Most children in his shoes would have been crushed under the weight of such misery. Many would have given up. But Charlie wasn't like most children. He carried with him something far more powerful than money, stronger than circumstance. A dream. Even in the middle of hunger and despair, Charlie found himself drawn to the world of performance. He would imitate people he saw on the streets, making others laugh, even if his own heart was breaking. For him, laughter wasn't just entertainment, it was survival. It was the seed of hope planted in the soil of suffering. And that seed would one day grow into a legend. Even in the middle of hardship, Charlie discovered something special, something no one could take away from him. When he was just a boy, he realized he had a gift: the ability to make people laugh. On the streets of London, while hunger gnawed at his stomach, he would mimic the people he saw around him. The way a drunk man stumbled, the way a policeman strutted, the way shopkeepers argued. Children gathered to watch. Strangers smiled. For a brief moment, the world felt lighter. It wasn't just about jokes. It was about escape. For Charlie, comedy became a shield, a way to protect himself from pain, and at the same time, a way to connect with others. His mother, before she became too ill, had been a performer. She used to sing on stage, and little Charlie would watch in awe. That memory stayed with him even after she was gone. Perhaps deep inside, he felt he was carrying on her dream. By his teenage years, Charlie was already chasing opportunities on stage. He joined small theater groups, performed in music halls, and even worked as a clown in a circus troupe. The audiences didn't know his story. They didn't see the boy who had once been homeless and hungry. All they saw was a young man who could make them laugh until their sides hurt. That was Charlie's secret weapon. He knew what pain felt like, and that gave him the power to create joy for others. It was the spark, this ability to transform suffering into laughter, that would one day change his life forever and make him unforgettable to the world. Charlie's talent didn't stay hidden for long. His early performances in London's music halls caught attention, and soon he was offered a chance to join a comedy troupe that toured internationally. For a boy who once slept in workhouses, this was a door to a new world. In 1910, Charlie Chaplin arrived in America with the Carno Theater Company. On stage, his natural ability to make people laugh set him apart from everyone else. But it was in Hollywood, the new land of silent films, where his life truly changed forever. In 1914, Charlie appeared in his very first short film. Audiences noticed something different about him. He wasn't just acting, he was creating magic. That same year, he introduced a character that would become iconic. The Tramp. With a bowler hat, a cane, baggy pants, and a tiny mustache, the Tramp became more than just a funny character. He became a symbol. Through the Tramp, Charlie told stories of struggle, resilience, and hope. The world laughed at his clumsy walk, but they also saw their own struggles reflected in his silent tears. In just a few years, Charlie Chaplin went from being a nobody on the streets of London to the most famous man in the world. His films weren't just entertainment. They were universal stories of humanity. Whether you were rich or poor, young or old, you could see yourself in the Tramp. And all of this was born from pain, the hunger, the loneliness, the abandonment. Charlie poured it all into his art. That's why his comedy wasn't shallow. It carried truth. It carried heart. By the 1920s, Charlie wasn't just an actor. He was a filmmaker, a businessman, and one of the richest and most influential artists in history. But what made him truly great wasn't the fame or the money. It was the fact that he never forgot where he came from. He never stopped using laughter as a weapon against suffering. Charlie Chaplin had risen. The homeless boy was now a global legend. Charlie Chaplin wasn't just a star of his time. He became a timeless symbol of resilience. At the height of his career, he was more than an entertainer. He was a storyteller who gave a voice to the voiceless. His films like The Kid, City Lights, and Modern Times weren't just comedies. They were reflections of poverty, struggle, and the fight for dignity. Through the character of the Tramp, Chaplin showed the world something profound. Even the poorest man, even the loneliest wanderer, carries dignity, hope, and the right to dream. And perhaps that's why billions loved him. He didn't just make them laugh, he made them feel. Charlie's impact didn't stop with comedy. In The Great Dictator, he stood against tyranny and war, delivering one of the most powerful speeches in film history. A speech about hope, freedom, and humanity. Imagine this. A boy who once had no voice, no bed, no family, now standing before the entire world, inspiring millions with his words. That is the true measure of a legend. Charlie Chaplin passed away in 1977, but his spirit still lives on. His films continue to make new generations laugh, cry, and reflect. His story continues to inspire anyone who feels broken, abandoned, or lost. Because his life proves a simple, eternal truth. You can be born in poverty. You can face abandonment. You can walk through darkness. And still you can rise. Charlie Chaplin turned suffering into strength. He turned loneliness into art. He turned silence into laughter that still echoes across the world today. He was not just a comedian. He was not just an actor. He was a reminder that no matter how hopeless life seems, there is always light within us waiting to shine. Charlie Chaplin, the homeless boy who became a legend. Charlie Chaplin's life teaches us something unforgettable. You don't get to choose where you are born. You don't get to choose your parents, your circumstances, or the hardships life throws at you. Charlie didn't choose poverty. He didn't choose to be abandoned. He didn't choose to grow up in hunger and loneliness. But he did choose something else. He chose to keep going. He chose to turn pain into power. He chose to use laughter as his weapon and dreams as his compass. And that's the lesson for you. Maybe you feel like life is against you. Maybe you've been knocked down so many times that getting back up feels impossible. Maybe the world sees you as nothing. But remember Charlie. Remember the boy who had nothing. No father, no home, no money, and yet became a legend loved by the entire world. Your circumstances do not define your future. Your choices do. Your pain can be your prison, or it can be your fuel. The decision is yours. Charlie once said, "You'll never find a rainbow if you're looking down. So lift your head. Keep moving forward. And never forget, the same way Charlie Chaplin turned his broken beginnings into greatness, you too have the power to rise, to shine, and to leave your mark on the world. Because legends are not born. Legends are made." Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope Charlie Chaplin's story inspired you as much as it inspired me to create it. If you found value in this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories of resilience and success. And remember, every legend starts with a struggle, including you. See you in the next video.